This is lesson 4, dramatic readings for A Raisin in the Sun, activities 1 through 4. For activity 1, this is our vocabulary activity, and there is a video that you'll need to watch in order to answer the questions.
And now, a food court report featuring the adjective emphatic, which means insistent and forceful.
So, I just got this job at the yogurt stand, and my manager was emphatic. She insisted when I make a blueberry smoothie in the blender, I take the lid off first. Otherwise, the smoothie is not happening. Oh, I see her point. And my manager was emphatic. She insisted I put the yogurt in the blender slowly so it won't splatter in my face. And my manager was emphatic that I put in a few blueberries at a time. She insisted on it so they won't roll all over the counter. Time to turn on the old blender. I wish my manager had been emphatic about putting the lid back on. Maybe I should get a different job.
Where will our food court reporter work next? Find out soon on the Food Court Report. Till then, keep in mind, emphatic is an adjective, which means insistent and forceful.
To complete activity 1, you will scroll down. You will answer the questions: which sentence uses the word emphatic correctly, choosing A or B. You'll press next, which will take you to card 2. Card 2 will give you the answer explanation. You'll press next and continue to card 3, which says which of these people is emphatic about something at work: a baker who might try a new recipe for his cake, an orchestra conductor who demands perfection from his musicians, or a lifeguard who forgets to wear his sunscreen and gets sunburned. You will press next, which will take you to card 4. When you are done, this will light up. You will press hand in. You get the notification at the top, and then you will move on to activity 2. Activity 2 is select acting in character. For this question, for this activity, you'll be referring to your chosen character and your chosen selection or section of the scene. The question says, what does your chosen section of the scene express about this character? Use details from the text in your answer. You'll type this in this text box. Number 2 says, what is one way you will try to show how the character feels in this moment? Consider facial expressions and how you use your hands and arms. Will you lean forward or backward? Will you walk? Who will you look at? Now keep in mind, because we are not in person, you may be doing this on Flipgrid, you may be doing this in breakout groups, or you may be doing this as a whole class. So keep in mind that this question may differ depending on what your teacher has asked you to do. After you've answered these 2 questions, you will go to next activity. That will bring us to activity 3, student presentations. For this activity, there are a couple things to keep in mind because you are doing a performance. This is directions for student performers. Take a deep breath and exhale slowly. Recite your passage. Explain to the class why you picked this passage and what you learned about the character by preparing for your performance. Scrolling down, there are a few questions as well. It says, identify one performance in which a peer chose the same character you did. Now, like I said, this may be on Flipgrid, this may be in breakout groups, or this may be whole class, but you will identify one performance after everyone has had the chance to read their lines. Did the classmate express the same or different idea or emotion in their reading? Same or different? And then, what is one way your classmate emphasized this idea or emotion during the performance? Think back to that last activity, which talked about leaning in, your voice, what you do with your hands, etc. And you can explain that here. Once you've answered these 3 questions, you will press hand in, and you'll have this green little pop-up which tells you that you've handed your assignment in. the last activity is activity 4, last activity for today, and it is the visual. So these will be posted separately in Google Classroom, or a link will be attached to these slides.